Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Generation Old School. If it is your first time passing by my channel, my name is William, and in today's video, we're filming a 1959 Buick LeSabre that belongs to my buddy Yaril. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a like, and also if it is your first time passing by the channel, go ahead and subscribe.
Hi guys, my name is Yaril Quintana. I have a small shop called Yaril's Customs in Miami, Florida, and I do a lot of traditional old school custom cars, as well as air suspension and chop tops and stuff like that. This is my personal 1959 Buick LeSabre. It's a four-door hardtop. I purchased the car maybe about 8 years ago when my grandpa passed away. We found a small picture of him sitting in a white four-door hardtop, and I thought I'd build a tribute car to him. The reason I thought of doing that is because he's the one that brought all of our family from Cuba to America back in the 80s. He was a political prisoner in the 60s in Cuba when Fidel took over the country, and he escaped prison, fled the country, and moved to the States on his own to start a new life for the family. This was one of the first cars he was able to purchase in the States, so I thought it'd be cool to build one in memory of him. The car is basically a mix between lowrider and custom. Lowrider because of the paintwork, obviously the stance, and then custom because of the shaving of emblems, door handles, the custom built skirts. Some of the influence in the paintwork as well has more to do with traditional customs with the scallops. So the body was taken down to bare metal. All the trim was removed. All the bright work was sent out to Space Coast Plating up in Melbourne, Florida, where they did a nice job of re-chroming and polishing up all the trim. So the body was in good shape. It had zero rust on it. So it was just basically a lot of prepping and sanding to get the car up to paint. My father-in-law, Leo Vizcaino, he has a shop as well called Team V Auto Works, and he's the one that's always helped me out with the paint work. This car, we sprayed together all the white that you see on it. It's got base coat white, clear coat, and then in the clear coat on the first layer, we threw a little bit of a gold pearl to try to tie in with the roof. On the roof part and the trunk and the speaker tray, that I did on my own with him standing next to me. So it's kind of a labor of love on this car. The roof, trunk, and speaker tray have a little bit of everything in the sense of we've got some lace patterns. So what it is, it's a big tablecloth that I took the center out of, and we used just the border to wrap around the full roof and trunk of the car. So if you notice, the pattern kind of continues down into the speaker tray and across the trunk. It's got some sun rays, which I thought were cool for the big fins. I did a little bit of scallops on the fins as well and down the center of the trunk, and then a lot of just traditional kind of faded lines to tie it all in. Everything on the trunk and roof is House of Color. It's a metallic silver base, and then House of Color candies blended and mixed and sprayed over the silver metallic base. And then just a bunch of clear over it, sanded, re-cleared and sanded and buffed to try to get it to lay out as flat as possible. The car also has custom skirts. Those were handmade. I didn't like anything that was available aftermarket. So it's basically just some round bar, making the perimeter of the shape of the skirt, and then sheet metal rolled over, body worked and painted. I wanted it to look like kind of a Jetsons futuristic car, because being from '59, this was during all the space race going on in the late 50s, early 60s. So I wanted to just accentuate on that. On the front over here, you see the wire wheels. They're 1953 Buick Skylark wire wheels. They're originals. I had a shop out in California take them all apart and restore them. So they got stainless steel spokes, nipples, and re-chromed. The rest of the car has been shaved off of unnecessary emblems. So the hood badge is gone, the door handles are gone, the trunk badges are gone. All that stuff has been cleaned up to give it a smoother, cleaner look. The taillights in the back, you can see, are also custom. They're using the original taillight bezel, and I made a piece of red lucite as a lens and put a chrome bullet on it. Again, so when you look at the car from the side, the car gets even longer than it would be from factory. So under the hood, we have the original motor, transmission, and rear end. It's a Buick nailhead, obviously. It's the 2-barrel version, which I personally like because it's a little bit more gas efficient, and this car isn't about big horsepower, it's just about cruising. The motor is original, unrestored. I took it out, cleaned it up, and repainted it, but the internals are all the original. The clock said it had about 80,000 miles when I bought it. Whether that's true or not, time will tell, but the car cruises just fine. The only things we did under the hood was upgrade to an alternator because I tried to keep it generator, but we kept having issues with the voltage regulator, and I updated it to have modern air conditioning. The car is factory equipped with power steering, power brakes, so it's an easy car to drive and a lot of fun. In the trunk, you can see the air management setup. We're using Accuair E-Level for the air ride system. The car rides on 4 Slam Specialty airbags with custom built brackets to fit into the original spring purchase. The tank was color matched to the car, so everything flowed nicely. Instead of using aluminum lines like I typically use on hardline setups, we went with copper, again to tie in with the gold and yellow feel of the rest of the car. So the interior is mostly stock, just different fabrics and materials and slightly different stitch patterns. I took apart the complete dash to color change it. I wanted the whole inside to be mustard gold as well. So the steering wheel, steering column, every bracket was taken out, sanded and painted to match. Rivero Upholstery did the stitch work on the inside. The seats and door panels are vintage fabric from the 50s. There's a company called SMS. They have yards and yards of NOS fabric. So I got samples until we picked one that we were happy with. And as far as the door panels go, I like to make them out of aluminum. That way they stay in shape, they're easier to work with, and they won't warp over time. So I draw the complete door panel design on the actual aluminum, and then Rivero Upholstery does a great job of converting that into what you see here. The car has air conditioning. I tried to locate some of the factory AC vents so that it wouldn't be a modern looking system. So the car has shaved door handles. To do so, we removed the door handles and welded the exterior. And then inside, what we have is a electric solenoid. It's located somewhere down here inside the door panel. All it is basically a magnetic solenoid that when activated, it pulls down. So there's a cable routed inside the door to the door latch mechanism. When you hit your little button on your controller, it just activates that for a second or two, therefore popping out the door. Being a 4-door car, I thought it would be cool to have no door handles. Since it's a hardtop, it kind of cleaned up the lines a lot more than having 4 door handles sticking out on the side of the car. So the car is riding on Accuair E-Level. What that means is that to raise and lower the car, we're using height sensors on each corner. The sensors send information to a little ECU. So when you press a preset button, the ECU tells the valves how much to open or close to raise the car up or down, depending what preset you wanted. I like this system a lot because it's very easy to use. It's pretty precise and consistent as far as getting your ride heights.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Beautiful 1959 Buick LeSabre. Yaril, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to film your car. Be sure to give him a follow, Yaril Customs, and also follow our social media if you want to keep up with some of the stuff that we're doing at Generation Oldschool. Thank you guys.